Call the City of Westfield, Indiana Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order for June 26, 2024. Will the staff please note the presence of quorum?
Nick Barbknecht, Randy Graham,
Present.
Scott Willis.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Very good. First up, action item number 1 is approval of minutes from May 22nd, 2024. Having opportunity to review those minutes, are there any additions, corrections, or comments? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion's been made to approve action item number 1, approval of minutes for May 22nd, 2024, and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I do have one change to the posted agenda today, and Pat noted out that the agenda had changed also from yesterday. So we will roll through with the most current agenda, which is what you'll see on the screen. With the addition of a change, I'm adding notice to proceed for design of police headquarters.
Right here. Great. Sorry. Good afternoon. Scott Sennefeld with Veritas Group, 6280 North Shadeland. What we've asked for your review is notice to proceed to allow the design team to move forward with design development and construction documents of the police station. What you'll be followed with will be a contract recommendation. We're in that process now. Of course, that review and recommendation is ongoing, but this notice would just allow for the development to continue.
This is a pretty standard preliminary type of a step that we take many times ahead of these contracts, correct?
Yeah, I would just say that we were hopeful to have the contract before you for this meeting, but there's still some remaining review. And so rather than having you guys quickly look at a contract of this size, we wanted to just get a verbal approval from the board that, yes, we're going to continue with the project, go ahead and work through some design. The contract will come through in July for your review through our normal process.
For the record, Danielle Carey-Tolan here. So when we came on with the administration, we had put a pause on the construction of the police station headquarters and to kind of get everybody up to speed, and then we have a new police chief and had to get him up to speed to make sure this is the exact project that we needed to move forward with. This is actually a reduction in price because we got rid of one architect, and that was going to be a joint architect kind of process. So it is actually a decrease in price as well when you guys will see it, but it's just standard.
Thank you, Danielle. Any questions or comments, Mr. Mayor?
Nope.
Hearing none, I will make a motion to approve the change item on the agenda, notice to proceed for design of police headquarters.
A second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve notice to proceed for design of police headquarters. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to contracts and agreements, action item number 2, Bridge Builder Strategies LLC and City of Westfield Service Agreement.
Good evening, or good afternoon. It is afternoon. It's not evening yet. It's in my head. For the record, Danielle Carey-Tolan before you. Before you have a contract with Bridge Builders, and this is, again, part of the transition plan that was laid out in Mayor Willis's administration coming into office and creating an environment to improve efficiencies and SOPs, understanding job descriptions. So what Bridge Builders will be doing, they'll be coming in to standardize a catalog of policies and addressing any gaps and opportunities that we might have in our organization. They'll also train on these new policies. So they'll sit with every department and directors and understands how how policies and procedures work and what kind of workflow there is to kind of see if we need to streamline things, outsource different processes, look at new systems. We'll also look at our organizational chart. Again, looking at job description and just mapping out the right job descriptions for everybody. This will also look, we're creating new core values for the city of Westfield. And so this will align with our core values and really enterprise our operating system across the organization and focusing our core values within those SOPs, job descriptions, and such. So they'll start, hopefully, if this passes today, on July 1st. It will be a year-long process. So the council did already appropriate funds of $150,000 this year to get this project started, and then the project will end next year. So we have accounted just to get them up and going and started to get the process rolling. I can answer any additional questions, please ask.
Sounds exciting. I think it's probably long overdue.
Very much overdue.
Yeah. So those are my only comments. Mr. Mayor?
No comments.
All right. No further discussion. I'll make a motion to approve action item number 2, Bridge Builder Strategies LLC and City of Westfield Service Agreement.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve action item number 2 as stated for the record. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to action item number 3, Clark Dietz and City of Westfield Professional Services Agreement, CLOMR Services Supplemental number 2.
Yeah, for the record, John Nail, Director of Public Works, City of Westfield. When we worked through the Grand Junction Plaza project, part of the provisions in our construction of floodway permit was to provide a CLOMR, which is a conditional letter of map revision, to update the flood mapping essentially that changed with Grand Junction Plaza and some other subsequent projects upstream of the Anna Kendall Drain. In that process, FEMA has found a couple of items that they need additional modeling and working through it, some additional potential violations from previous projects that were approved by the Indiana Department of Natural Resources. And so this is a supplemental to the original contract for Clark Dietz to perform some additional modeling to help us resolve these FEMA issues. It is an hourly contract, so we only pay for what we use with a not to exceed amount of $50,000. I don't think it's going to be that much, but I did want to at least have the flexibility to utilize up to $50,000 on this contract if needed. Again, I don't think we're going to need that much. We'll only pay for what we use. And Brian Powers with Clark Dietz is the hydraulics engineer who has been working on this. He's very well respected in the industry. No doubt he'll be able to get some of these issues resolved with FEMA. So that's, if you have any questions, happy to answer.
Questions, comments? Sorry, questions, comments?
Nope, nothing
None?
from mine.
If there is no further discussion, I'll make a motion to approve action item number 3, Clark Dietz, City of Westfield Professional Services Agreement, CLOMR Services Supplemental number 2.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve action item number 3 as stated for the record. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to action item number 4, Throgmorton Hinkie Development LLP and City of Westfield, release of temporary highway easement grant.
Yep, John Nail again. When we did the 191st Street widening project a couple summers ago, we had received a temporary right-of-way easement from this parcel on the southeast corner of 191st and Tomlinson. That easement was just for some grading and drainage ditch grading as part of the project. With temporary easements during construction, we will formally release them. Typically, they exist until we release them or until the project is complete. And so this is just a formal release of that easement. We no longer need it. That burden, that easement burden will dissolve with the release of that easement. And it's necessary as part of the Grand Universe project. So this is a parcel that would be part of the future Grand Universe, and we want to eliminate that easement that's no longer necessary.
questions or comments? Hearing none, I will make a motion to approve action item number 4, Throgmorton Hickey Development LLP and City of Westfield release temporary highway easement grant.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve action item number 4 as stated for the record. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to action item number 5, Lockmiller Group and City of Westfield, 191st Street, Monon Design Contract Supplemental.
John Nail again, just going a bit west of where we were looking previously. We have the 191st Street widening project from Tomlinson to Grand Park Boulevard. Lockmiller Group is currently working on that roadway design. As part of our capital improvement plan that was announced and presented to in April to City Council, we are proposing a pedestrian bridge for the Monon Trail over 191st Street. This supplemental is for the design of that pedestrian bridge. With Lockmiller being the roadway designer, it made sense to make this a supplemental to their already existing contract. United Consulting will be doing the actual bridge design, and they will be a sub-consultant to Lockmiller with the overall contract. The idea here is that Lockmiller will be the one engineering firm responsible for the design, making sure that that bridge jives with the road design that they're working on currently. The supplemental is for $614,200. As you might expect, a pedestrian bridge is a pretty substantial design and cost, and this design fee is very much in line with the market rate of what we expect to pay for this design work. So with that, I would ask for approval of the design. Happy to answer any questions, and we're excited to get this project going.
Questions, comments?
I got a quick question. When are you projected to start the bridge?
So ideally, we'd like to bundle both projects into the same construction contract. It will be somewhat dependent on how quickly the bridge design can catch up to the road design. We've been working on the road design for a while now, so I don't want to promise that they're going to happen at the same time. Realistically, two different contractors. The contractor that does a PED bridge work is oftentimes different than a road contractor anyway. But ideally, we try to lump them together because they're in the same geographic area. We can coordinate MOT and scheduling accordingly. But with that said, we are looking at road construction in 2025 still. So if they can catch up on the bridge design side, it's possible that starts then. We have a decent amount of right-of-way acquisition and some utility relocation work that has to happen before we can go to construction, though.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve action item number 5, Lockmiller Group and City of Westfield, 191st Street, Monon Design Contract Supplemental.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve action item number 5 as stated for the record. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to action item number 6, A&F Engineering, City of Westfield, Local Public Agency Consulting Contract, Spring Mill Road Corridor Study.
John Nail again. Also part of our capital improvement plan is a study of Spring Mill Road from 146th Street up to 193rd. As you may know, if you drive this roadway, certainly in peak hours, it can get congested. It can be difficult at times to turn left onto Spring Mill Road from certain neighborhood entrances. A&F Engineering is going to be performing a corridor study of Spring Mill Road within those limits, looking specifically at key intersections to determine what, if any, intersection improvements would be necessary, which will help make decisions for our future Spring Mill improvements on that corridor. The traffic on Spring Mill isn't quite high enough, and we don't expect it to get high enough in the future to require a full 4-lane boulevard section. We want to be very smart about how we build out our roadway system, and the last thing we want to do is overbuild something that isn't necessary, right? We don't want to spend extra taxpayer dollars on a 4-lane section if it's never truly required. So instead, what we're trying to focus on with this study is where do we get the most bang for our buck in investments at intersections? to improve safety and traffic flow on Spring Mill Road. So this study is in the amount of $97,970. It's going to look at all of those key intersections between 146th and 193rd, and it's really going to help inform us as to decisions we need to make on intersection improvements in the future.
All right. Any questions or comments on action item number 6? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve action item number 6, A&F Engineering and City of Westfield Local Public Agency Consulting Contract, Spring Mill Road Corridor Study.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve action item number 6 as stated for the record. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Is it Etika or Edika?
Etika.
Etika.
Yep.
Action item number 7, Etika Group and City of Westfield Design Services for 161st Street Trail, Oak Road to Cary Road.
John Nail again. This is a future trail project between Oak Road and Cary Road. The design contract or design proposal before you is in the amount of $89,850 for Etika Group to come through to design a trail on the south side of 161st Street to connect existing paths that were built as part of the 161st and Oak roundabout, coming across Oak Park Court and tying into the existing trail that exists on the south side at 161 and Cary Road. This is a trail connection that's really been missing for a while in our trail network, and it's something that I know the residents of Oak Park really want to see done. We had told them previously we would be doing this project, but we wanted to get the roundabout done first so we had something to tie into. And so this is getting the design started on that trail connection. We've reviewed the fee. We believe it's in line with what we'd expect to pay for this type of design work, and happy to answer any questions you may have.
Is it going to be a 12-foot trail, a wide trail section, or 8-foot? What are we looking at?
It'll be an 8-foot, which is consistent with our perimeter trails.
Okay.
Yep. We usually reserve 12-foot for named trails, larger named trails in Westfield.
Okay. Any additional questions, comments, sir?
It's in my backyard. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. All right. No, if there's no further discussion, I will make a motion to approve action item number 7, Etika Group and City of Westfield Design Services for 161st Street Trail, Oak Road to Cary Road.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve action item number 7 as stated for the record. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to action item number 8, Rejuvec Inc. and City of Westfield Goods and Services Contract 2024 Asphalt Rejuvenation Project.
Yes, for the record, Michael Pierce, City Engineer, City of Westfield. This is goods and services contract with Rejuvec in the amount of $147,351.75. This is part of our annual pavement maintenance that we do citywide to maintain our streets. This is a rejuvenating agent. It's an asphalt emulsion that we put over the top of the asphalt. It really seals it up. Seals up the pores so that water and other things can't penetrate the asphalt. Been using this product for about 7 or 8 years now. We see some good added life to our pavement with this product. So we would seek to execute this contract so we can continue to do that this year. We have about 7 subdivisions on the project for this year, and that would be completed by October 25th for this contract.
Very good. Questions or comments?
None.
Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve action item number 8, Rejuvec Inc. and City of Westfield Goods and Services Contract 2024 Asphalt Rejuvenation Project.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve action item number 8 as stated for the record. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have one item on the consent agenda, and I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated for the record.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda as stated on the record. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And on to department reports. First up, Chief Gaylor.
Try that again. Afternoon, Rob Gaylor, Westfield Fire Department. This is the May 2024 report. Nothing real significant to respond to here other than just making a couple points. We averaged almost 14 calls per day. The average response time was 1:16. We had almost 1,000 apparatus responses out the door. 12.91% of our calls were to medical care facilities. I had a question the other day that the mayor and I were talking about some of our mutual aid stuff, and so I wanted to point out just for the month of May where we were at and take a look at that. Sorry for scrolling through. So what we call mutual aid is we'll provide a service for you and you provide a service for us, or a truck, or a special unit. Typically Carmel and Noblesville and Sheridan, obviously our closest neighbors, are who we give those responses for. What you see on the screen is a blue is aid given and the orange is aid received. So we're giving aid more than we're receiving aid, which is really nice on EMS calls. Was not the case a year ago before we put in the third medic unit. We had last year 436 times a different agency coming in to take a medical transport out of our city because we needed to add another medic unit. We had the ability to do that. Now you can see that we have completely changed that concept on the EMS side. And so no aid given to Sheridan and no aid received to Sheridan. These are usually low numbers. Noblesville is typically our biggest partner, if you will. The shared locations or the closeness in the locations of stations, 72s and 83s and 82s and 76s allows us to bounce back and forth with those mutual aid pieces. On the fire side, this happens a lot more often. Again, Carmel, Noblesville, and Sheridan, we're giving more aid than we're receiving. This goes back and forth. By the end of the year, you see that it's really reciprocal and about equal level playing field as we go through. But just wanted to get it out there. There's some questions. We're talking about mutual aid, and hey, it is in the report. I just want folks to be aware of that, and if you see it or ask and have questions, then ask and be happy to answer them. But with that, some other department updates. We got our new ladder, tractor-drawn aerial device in. You may have seen through some social media posts. That truck was ordered in 21, and by the time you get through the build process and everything and it's here, you may see it driving around town as we finish up some training to get people trained and up to speed on that before we get it in service. We're looking at the tail end of July into the first part of August before we actually see that in the fleet, in service, and taking runs. So be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
It's good to see the blue line higher than the orange line. And I remember especially with the ambulances being left wanting for help many times in the past. And it's good to see that we're more balanced and, makes Westfield overall just a safer place to live. It's good to see the
Yeah.
statistics there to show that we've trended in the right direction and we have controlled the situation.
And it is month by month.
Right.
Some months are busier than others and things can go, but by and large, on the EMS side of things, we really have leveled that playing field. On the fire side of things, depending on where the call is at, that's still not necessarily the case. We've got some work to do there, but by and large, our partners, our neighbors have been partners, and it's been a real easy transition to, they've been accommodating and coming into our area and helping out when we need help, and us traveling to their areas when they need help as well. So, thank you.
It's good work. Anything else, Mr. Mayor?
Nope.
Thanks, Chief. Next up, Police, Chief Keen.
Members of the board, Sean Keene, Chief, Westfield Police Department. So in the report that we sent to you, I didn't see any significant changes in our uniform crime reporting or calls for service. Compare this May to 12 months ago in May. We actually had a slight decrease in the overall reporting as far as the UCR side. What I thought might be of more interest to this board is some things that we're doing internally and that we're planning to do that might affect or be of more interest to this board in the near future. So with that, at this point, I have conducted 57 one-on-one interviews with the employees of the police department, leaving 21 left. At the conclusion of those interviews, once I've taken in all data from all members, and we'll be making just final decisions on command staff positions, and those will be decided based on what I'm specifically looking for are those that exhibit servant leadership. So as we move forward, that will be a big part of our plans. Once those appointments have been made, we have some areas that we are going to be targeting first in the areas of policy, training, communications, and technologies. Of most recent importance to this board, we have, as far as the hiring process is concerned, I've made 3 conditional offers of employment of the 4 current vacancies that we have. Our goal would be to have them hired sometime in August. That might be aggressive, but we have a new academy date towards the end of August, so that might, at least one of those at this point is a non-lateral, which means they would have to attend the academy. One is a lateral inside the state of Indiana, who would not require the academy, and one is a lateral from the state of California. So he would have to have at least a partial waiver to the academy. Outside of our hiring, of significant importance to this board is that the city's legal department, the city attorney, has provided me at least a rough draft for our proposed merit system that we would need to have in place by the start of next year. If you're not familiar with that, it would be very similar to the structure of the fire department. It would be a Title 36 merit system, which would require 5 members, 2 appointed by or elected by the active members of the department, 2 appointed by the mayor, and 1 by the council. And they would govern, as we move forward, all hiring practices, promotional processes, and appeals of discipline. So the goal for that, I think, at least that we set, once we have some solid language, the city attorney wants to go through it one more time. Once she gives that to me, I'll provide it to the members of the department. And then I think the first step, as my understanding, would be the presentation to the council so that it could be adopted in ordinance form. We would then have a vote of the officers. And then the early part of next year, the officers would have a meeting called by the Board of Works to elect their representative, 1 Democrat and 1 Republican, to represent the officers. And like I said, the other appointments, 2 would come from the mayor and 1 from the council. So that would be a significant change to how we've operated to this point. On my end, I spent 26 years only ever working under a merit system, so this is different for me. But this will definitely be a different change for the members of this department. I haven't seen it, and it will be coming up in the near future. So outside of that, once kind of more long-term, what we're looking at by the end of the year is to have for me personally, is to have a 5- and 10-year comprehensive plan for the police department as we go forward. And that'll be looking at the department's needs, the community's needs, and where we think that those align as we plan the next 5 to 10 years. And I'd be happy to answer any questions at this point you have, anything I've discussed.
Sure.
I've had dialogue with the chief already on all this stuff, so I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the fact that you're doing the one-on-one, interviews with everyone and kind of getting a base as to where things are right now. And it sounds like moving forward with the merit system, it would be a very positive change to the way things are right now. So looking forward to see how that shakes out and, changes in the future for the good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
And last up, Public Works, Mr. Nail.
Yeah, so we're still working through our resurfacing package this year. Most recently, we were resurfacing Gunther, which is just there by Kroger, which got a lot of attention. I know people were happy to see that getting resurfaced. Had one question today asking if they were done because there was about 1.5 inch lip. No, we're not done. We'll put surface down. There's just a binder course that went down first. So in case you were wondering, no, we're not going to leave it with 1.5 inch lip. There'll be a smooth roadway surface when we're done. Sidewalk project at Blackburn Road began this week, so working on that sidewalk project. Just as a reminder, we talked about this in previous meetings, but that was the community development block grant money that we received along Blackburn Road to put in a sidewalk there. So that started. 196th Street, still under construction, making good progress on that roadway, kind of enhancing that road and reconstructing that road for future truck traffic around North Point. So that's still progressing well. Something to bring to your attention, there will be a closure for, we believe, 2 days of Oak Road just south of 161st Street, starting Monday, July 1st. That is to repair a patch that has failed. Citizens had a lift or a force main sewer that was installed earlier this year, kind of crossed Oak Road down here, and the concrete patch that they'd put back in place has settled significantly. Contractor agrees that it's a problem. They're coming back in starting on Monday to redo that, smooth out the roadway, and at no cost to us as well. So just want to be aware, 2-day closure expected for that repair. And then I do want to shout out our street department. We have completed the shoring on the 102 South Union, the green building downtown. I'm going to send the board some pictures of the shoring work that they did, but street department never fails to amaze me, all the things they can do, from carpentry to building trades. They really can do it all, and really proud of the guys of the effort they put in to get that shored up. It was substantial effort. And our building move contractor is going to swing by later this week, I believe, to check that out, make sure it's what they were expecting to see. And they had told me that their schedule has an opening in mid to late July to get that building moved to the east to its temporary location, which will allow us to backfill the basement. So just wanted to give a shout out to the street department. They, no matter what we ask them to do, even if it's outside sort of their normal purview, they find ways to get it done, and can't thank them enough for that work. Any questions, Public Works related?
I got a comment question. That 1.5 inch lip, that is rough. I hit that the other day. I think I lost a tooth or two from that. Not expected it to be quite that bad. Is there anything they can do? Because sometimes there's days before they actually fill it in. Is there anything they can do to gradually?
Yeah, and Michael can comment on this a little bit if he wants, but typically what we do, if we know there's going to be a lengthy delay, we have them do what's called a wedge, where they put some asphalt mix to kind of put a triangle there between the lip to make it more of a ramp up rather than a jarring bump. So any kind of lengthy delay between binder and surface, we typically require that. Now, I will say for this one, it's possible end of the day, getting late, maybe they weren't able to get that wedge in there. I'm not sure exactly on this situation.
Yeah, I was just going to add that typically in our contracts, we write that they're supposed to put the surface down within like 3 days of putting the binder down, so it's not a lengthy delay in there. So that may be the case that they just didn't put it in there because actually they were planning on paving today. They canceled because of weather, so they should be in there tomorrow to actually surface both Gunther as well as I think Tournament Trail and Dartown. They were working all kind of on those simultaneously. So
How difficult would it be just to make it standard practice? I mean,
I don't think it's difficult. I think we can just write it into our contracts.
let's start doing that, because even if it's a day or two, you have somebody flying down that road and they're not paying attention.
Yep.
And I mean, that could cause an accident. It was that bad when I hit it. And unfortunately, I was in my wife's car, and my wife is in the car with me. And it made for a very unpleasant rest of the drive, and I was like 1 minute into a 30-minute drive. So if you guys could help me on that. I think it'd be best for the residents as well to have, if it's not too much problem, let's just have them do that.
We can certainly write it into the contract.
I hope my wife's not listening to this meeting. I'm pretty sure she's not, but
Yeah, I have not been on that since, or over that since the initial paving was put down, but on Grassy Branch, southbound, that was a hell of a hit. And then 2 days later, somebody painted a pink line on the edge. I was actually stopped on the road while the guy was spraying it. But at least it was a warning to people who, I mean, that's the way I have to go every day now to get from, to where I need to go. But it was rather rough. And if that was the same, inch and a half that the mayor is talking about, it'll jar you pretty bad, even in a Jeep. So that would be great moving forward if that was in the contract. Any further discussion, Mayor?
I don't think so.
Any other things you'd like to speak about now on the agenda?
Nope. Appreciate the work everybody's doing, public safety, public works. Really appreciate all the efforts. I know we've had a couple of crazy runs the last month or two, so hopefully people stay safe out there.
Sounds good. Well, thanks to everyone for what you do. We appreciate you. And with no further business, I will make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second?
Motion's been made to adjourn and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.